If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. That's right.
They came to raise their voices.
The impression is that African American men, they're on the down low seeking to infect heterosexual women with HIV/AIDS.
And in the nation's capital, you are free to lynch a transgender African American person.
Our church began performing union ceremonies, and that's when all hell broke loose.
That night, I found my son, Carl Joseph Walker Hoover, had taken his own life in our home.
We have institutions that teach us how to be homophobic, and that would be the Black church. Thank you.
They came with stellar credentials.
Federal Legislative Director for the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force.
I am the president of the Detroit City Council.
I'm the Federal Policy Director for the National Center for Lesbian Rights.
I'm the Director of the Mayor's Office of Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Affairs here in the District of Columbia.
They came to the nation's capital to advocate equal rights for the African American LGBT community.
They're here to build an empowerment zone for the Black LGBT community around this country, and I would dare say around this world.
Out on the Hill Black Leadership Summit is the brainchild of the National Black Justice Coalition's Executive Director, Sharon Letman Hicks. The 6-day summit was held in September during the Congressional Black Caucus's annual legislative conference.
Black LGBT people are Black people too. We felt it's important for them to know that there are Black LGBT elected leaders, public policy makers, activists, faith leaders, all walks of life of our interests, both in Black America and LGBT America.
Thank you. On that note, let's get ready for the White House.
Day one began with a highly anticipated visit to the White House for a briefing with Obama administration officials outlining policies and initiatives of interest to the Black LGBT community.
So Valerie, what do you think?
Daddy said I was never going to be I may not be but I'm going to the White House.
I want to see Sasha and Malia.
You want?
I want to see Sasha, Malia, and the dog. I'm just saying.
And while the briefing was highly informative, there was no Sasha, no Malia, and no cameras.
If you want to go to the California office, please follow me.
Day 2, Issues Advocacy Day. Summit leaders converged on Capitol Hill to speak directly with legislative assistants from their own congressional districts.
So how'd it go?
It went very well.
Okay, good.
Because I believe that we are more homophobic.
And what's a summit without a little bit of fiery rhetoric?
The question was not if black communities aren't homophobic. The question was, are they more homophobic?
I know. Yeah, I heard that piece. And he has to say those things from the pulpit. Because if you don't have punks, sissies, bulldaggers, and queens in your church, you don't have a church. You don't have a church.
One of the high points of the summit was the unprecedented 9 town hall and panel discussions addressing a rainbow of issues affecting LGBT people of color.
Now we have to work on employment issues. That's right. we have to work on HIV and AIDS.
So you are free to lynch a transgender African American person. Only 30% of those murders get solved.
But my life changed forever on April 6, 2009. That night, I found my son, Carl Joseph Walker Hoover, had taken his own life in our home, my home that I was raised in as a child. He was 11 years old. The question that haunts me to this day is, how could my son, Carl, end up taking his own life? And I probably will never know the answer. What we do know is that Carl was bullied relentlessly at his school.
We as adults have to step up. It's our turn to say we're responsible for this bullying epidemic. We say we love differences. We teach our children, we talk about differences within our own community. Yet when it really comes down to it, we don't want anybody with us that's kind of standing outside of the norm. That's our problem.
I want to make sure, and I will get into this later, that our children are protected, that your children are protected in school. And the only way that we can do that is to pass a federal anti-bullying law. And I have been...
It was really a celebratory week for us to recognize that we have so much to contribute to the conversation around the Black agenda. We have so much leadership we can offer, and most importantly, that we're recognized, that we're visible, that we're respected, that people understand that we are decision makers too.